Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So we have new Firestorm footage and Daniel Pannenbaker was talking about Killer Frost as well as Gorilla Grodd things happening. So I felt like it demanded a video. I'm also going to be doing the Q&A at the end of this too. So here's the deal with Gorilla Grodd. Daniel Pannenbaker was just doing a whole bunch of press on a bunch of different outlets. So what she said is that the Grodd story this year, she didn't say exactly when it's coming, but she said it's going to be like this King Kong allegory where she'll play like the Ann Darrow character. So just, picture Gorilla Grodd jumping around town over buildings, trying to hold her in his hand. Rewind to last year, the Grodd Lives episode, I think it was 21, where they have General Eiling in the prison and Grodd is speaking through his lips, and he says, "Kate, good." So that means that Grodd likes Caitlin Snow, probably just because she treated him really well when he was a test subject. Maybe she just brought him Big Belly burgers. We know he doesn't like bananas. But that's what's going on with Grodd this year. So I don't think we're going to see Solivar. I don't think we're going to see Gorilla City. I think it's just going to be another standalone Grodd episode. What I'm really curious to see is if, because Earth 2 and the portal, the speed gun, however you want to think about it, is such a big deal, like a running plot line, I'm curious to see if Grodd's story overlaps with that. Like if Grodd finds out about the Earth 2 portal and tries to do something with it. But the other big thing is the Fury of Firestorm. So here's what's going on. It's going to be like a multiple Firestorm Battle Royale episode. We know now that this character is going to be Jax Jackson. They changed his name again. Originally it was just Jay Jackson. Then a lot of people thought it might be a recast version of Jason Rush. The thing that I think they're doing, the reason I think that they're not using Jason Rush is just because they want to keep it as simple as possible. Like they don't want to recast the actor, but they don't think that the actor that they already cast as Jason Rush is right for the tone of Legends of Tomorrow. Like they want a stronger actor and they don't want to recast. So that might be why they created this new character, because they want this actor. He was in Attack the Block with John Boyega, who, is burning it up in the Star Wars universe right now. So I think they wanted him, like they felt like he would be the perfect Firestorm character, but there was an issue with the Jason Rush name, so they're like, why don't we just create a new Firestorm? There is a point in the comics when a bunch of people all over the world try to get their hands on Martin Stein's technology to create Firestorms for their own. So like each nation has their own version of Firestorm. It's this big debacle in the New 52. So you can look at it from the perspective that there have been many, many people who have been part of a Firestorm Matrix. And yes, Ronnie will come back, but they didn't say how he'd come back. I'm guessing either in a flashback or Earth 2 Ronnie will be seen somehow. And this may have been another case where Robbie Amell just wasn't available to do Legends of Tomorrow because he's doing so many movies. So they're like, okay, we want to use Firestorm, but we can't use Robbie Amell, so why don't we just do the transition to the next version of the character? They actually have the actors on set now from Arrow, The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow shooting all 3 shows. Logistically, behind the scenes, it's kind of a nightmare shooting 3 shows at the same time with all the same actors, but it is going to look freaking awesome whenever it gets here next year. It should air sometime in January. I don't know exactly how many episodes Firestorm is going to be in this year, but presumably they brought Tom Cavanaugh back like Harrison Wells came through the portal so that Martin Stein can go away. Like they want to have that role filled in the cast. They want like the older advisor character, so they're bringing back Tom Cavanaugh and kind of like passing the torch from Martin Stein to Harrison Wells. And in case you didn't hear me talk about it in my Flash episode 3 video, Harrison Wells of Earth 2 is not evil, he's not going to be Zoom, he's just a super big dickhead. Grant Gustin, when he was talking about the character, just said he was a total douchebag. But he is the original version of Harrison Wells of Earth 2. He's not going to be Eobard Thawne in disguise. But Matt Ledsherd, the guy who played Eobard Thawne before he kind of like sucked in the DNA of Harrison Wells, he's going to be back too. Eddie is going to be back too, but we don't know how that's going to work either. Presumably it'll all be flashbacks and Earth 2 stuff. Okay, so here we go. Question time. Junior Sanchez asks, does Blue Lightning at the stadium, the Reverse Flash versus the Flash fight, have anything to do with Professor Zoom and Flash or anyone else? So I think you might be talking about Zoom specifically. Like Professor Zoom and Zoom are 2 different characters. So if you're asking about Blue Lightning Zoom during season 1, no, that's just a coincidence. There have been times in the comics where Zoom and Professor Zoom team up to work together reluctantly. Like Professor Zoom hates the crap out of Zoom. But I don't think that was what they were trying to do in season 1 of The Flash. It was just meant to be Eobard Thawne, Professor Zoom. And actually, I know there have been a lot of theories about who Zoom is. It still hasn't been confirmed. We still won't find out who's beneath the mask. But they keep referring to him using male pronouns, so I don't think that it is a female character. Next question, Wolfrey Castillo asks, I want to see a race between Jay and Wally soon. I assume you're just talking about all the Flashes just to have a race. I do think that they will have that moment, like the shawarma moment at the end of the season when they all have a race together, like, hey, let's see who's the fastest. Jay is still trying to get his powers back, but they just introduced the idea of this quark matter, like the special matter that's involved in getting back through the portal. So I think that's going to be critical to getting Jay's powers back, but they still don't know how Zoom took his powers. Like, I mean, that's one of the Speed Force abilities. Most speedsters can give and take speed. Wally West was able to do it in the comics. But they might change the explanation just for the TV show. They always change just a few minor things about the comics, so just don't assume comic book rules when it comes to giving and taking speed. So once everybody gets their speed back, and once Wally West gets his powers, then we will probably see Team Flash bro down. Next question, Valentine asks, do you think that Henry Allen from Earth 2 could be Zoom? Maybe Earth 2 Henry Allen kidnapped and killed Barry's father and took his place. So you're talking about like Henry Allen from Earth 2 coming to Earth 1 and then killing Barry's dad in the prison or like outside of the prison and then just walking around as his dad pretending to be him. The reason I don't think that's the case, although it's a really awesome idea, I'd love to see John Wesley Shipp be the villain of the season. He looks like he's about the same size as Jay Garrick, and Jay Garrick is pretty tall. But until we get some more evidence, I mean, we're really only a couple episodes in, so we'll get a lot more evidence about what Zoom is up to, what he's doing, and why he wants to be the fastest. Once we learn those things, we'll have some better theory crafting material. But the reason I think that he is a West is because season 1 was all about Barry fixing his family, like he wanted to get his dad out of prison, save his mother. He accomplished that. Now in season 2, whose family is broken? Well, Iris's family is broken, so it's all about fixing that family. So I think that it might be a West from Earth 2 trying to fix that. But because it's Earth 2, it's really hard to tell. I mean, it could totally be evil version of Barry. The really interesting thing, and I think this is telling, is that none of the writers, none of the actors have talked about the characters meeting themselves on Earth 2. So like, is there an Earth 2 version of Barry, or is he dead? Like, what's going on? So I think we'll also have to meet other versions of the characters from Earth 2 before we can say, Zoom is XYZ character. Next question, HK Harpster asks, I think Wally's going to come mid-season finally. Yeah, that's interesting. We don't know which episode he's going to debut in. And the really interesting thing is that Jay Garrick, I guess he hasn't met the Wests yet. So I'm really interested to see if Wally is from Earth 2 and Jay Garrick meets Detective West on Earth 1 and he's like, oh hey, I met your son. And he's like, what? I don't have a son. Next question, Noah Plays asks, what if Zoom is Barry from the future when he was blue, trying to kill all the speedsters to stop something, like when he tried to kill his past self? So you're talking about the New 52 plot line. The reason I don't think that Zoom is from the future now is because everything is about like different choices, different versions of the characters. So I think that Zoom is just a different version of a character that we already know. It's like season 1 was all about time travel. Season 2 is all about alternate versions of characters. So I think that Zoom is going to flow from that. Thank you so much for submitting questions, everyone. And congratulations to Nova Blast. You win this week's Reverse Flash Ring. Be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact info. The next round of the giveaway will start next Tuesday whenever I post my Flash episode 4 video, just like normal. I know I'm still behind on Gotham. I'm trying to get that out as soon as possible. Hopefully I'll get it out before Doctor Who starts tomorrow. In the meantime, in case you guys haven't seen it, I just posted like the full Jessica Jones trailer. It's like a full 2.5 minute trailer. You can click here to watch that like 5 or 6 times. It's gonna be so dark and gritty. And you can click here for this week's episode of Arrow and the Flash. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.